go back to our office. All right. So I'm going to quickly let each of you introduce yourselves. Then Colonel Donna Ford is going to come in and she's going to do her presentation. And then we'll end with each of you doing your presentations. This meeting is being recorded. All right. Donna, Regina, please introduce yourself and then get everyone 5 to 7 minutes, and then we'll bring Donna on.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Reginald Lyerly, and it's a pleasure to be part of Discover Brightside. I'm the away from the camera. I'm the sales and marketing director for Discover Brightside. At this time, we're first of all, everybody looks great. We're glad you're on. Yeah, you could be anywhere else today. You chose to be here, and we're so very grateful. So, at this point in time, I'd like to give everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves and for a couple of minutes and tell us and also the audience watching who you are and what you offer to your respective communities. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with Larry and Carol McGee.
Good evening.
Evening. I don't know where to really start. Carol and I have been married for almost 50 years now, and one of the things that we've been interested in lately is the publishing of our book, In Search of My Heart. It's a story that is an ageless adventure of love overcoming loss and enduring faith, conquering doubt and unbelief. It's about a young Jewish girl, first century Israel, the daughter of a Jewish scribe. She has a terrible tragedy in her young life. She and her family then meet Jesus at the wedding in Cana. The main character named Mary.
Larry, you're muted, sir.
Larry and Carol, you have to unmute.
Yeah, we just need you to unmute. Larry, yeah, we see you're talking to us, but you're muted. We cannot hear you. Okay, you're off mute now.
I thought we had unmuted. Sorry.
Okay, we hear you. We hear you loud and clear now. Thank you.
All right, yes, I'm Larry McGee. This is my wife, Carol. We've been married for about 48 years now. And our latest project was one of writing a book called In Search of My Heart. It's about a young Jewish girl in first century Israel, the daughter of a Jewish scribe. And she has a terrible tragedy in her young life. She and her family meet Jesus at the wedding in Cana, and then she becomes one of the ladies that travel with Jesus and the disciples as they minister throughout Israel. It's a story of love overcoming loss and enduring faith, conquering doubt and unbelief. And I did the research on the book. Carol did the writing. It's an intriguing story, and it has many plot twists. And we've just been very pleased. We've recently won an award, silver or bronze medal, for an international book competition. We went down to Miami and received the award just a couple of weeks ago.
We're real excited about the way people are responding to the book. We've had tremendous feedback. We've had all 5-star ratings on Amazon, but more importantly, we've had individuals sharing personally with us through our website, through email, through personal interaction. And what astounds me is that it seems as if each person gets something very different from the book. It's one of those books, I suppose, that when you read it, you identify with the characters based on what's going on in your own life and your own experiences, and sort of mirror your feelings with how they solve their problems and deal with their emotions. So it's been very interesting for us, for me in particular, as the writer of the manuscript, because people will tell me things about what they're getting out of the book and what they're learning and experiencing, and I just think to myself, boy, I didn't write that in there. I didn't remember intending that to be what someone would glean, and yet that's what's happening. And we've had I'm excited to say people say always, who's your audience? And you're really encouraged, of course, to narrow your audience when you're marketing and so on. And yet, we've had teenagers reading this book. Some parents are using it in the homeschool environment, and we've had everybody between there and literally not, pardon me, 90 years old reading the book and enjoying it. So it's thankfully hard to narrow the audience in that way, at least. We have had Christians and non-Christians reading the book. The non-Christians have been very interested, in particular, in all of the historical aspects. I think with Israel being really at the forefront of a lot of our news lately, people are interested in books about Israel. Of course, this is first century Israel, but times are not a whole lot different. There was warfare, oppression at that time between the Romans and the Jews. A lot of current events reflected in what that story tells. So, and we've had Jewish people read the book, and they too are excited to read about their own customs and practices, and especially in the context of that time period. So there are 135 notes in the back of the book, and so it can be simply a nice story to read, or really a learning experience about the time and the politics and the geography and the events of that time. So Larry just did a tremendous job with the research. And so we tried to really incorporate that as part of the real punch for the book. And people are responding to that very, very well. So we're excited, and the latest excitement. You want to tell about the audio?
Yes, our audio book should be out in a matter of a couple of weeks. We were very pleased to have found a couple here in Florida that did the book. So the story is told in the first person, which makes it a little challenging. And so we have a husband and wife that are doing it. He is doing the male voices, she's doing the female voices. And that added a whole nother level to the book. As you listen to it, we're extremely excited about the wonderful job they did of getting the essence of the book out in an audio form.
Yeah, they use multiple voices, and for those of you old enough to remember the radio theaters, there are portions of the book that almost come off that way. So it's done in a very compelling way. So thank you, first of all, Elizabeth and Reginald as well, for allowing us to be a part of this and to share about our book. We appreciate all of your attention, and just thank you for the experience.
Thank you so very much, Larry and Carol. What you bring to the community brings a wealth of knowledge, and the community definitely appreciate it. At this time, I want to introduce Dr. Misha Blackman. Hello, ma'am. Welcome.
So I wasn't prepared. Okay, but I can get this together. Hi, I am Dr. Misha Blackman. I am the founder and CEO of Misty's Closet, a online dog boutique. You heard it right, a whole boutique dedicated to fur babies. So behind me, it was easier to kind of give you a sampling to see what type of products, because I could sit and take up this whole time talking about Misty's Closet. But what we do is it's boutique in the truest sense. So I curate specialty items for dogs. It is not meant for every single item. It is a small boutique, which we have specialty collars and leashes and blankets. I do gift baskets. We have apparel, and then we also have home goods. So it would be pet-inspired products for your home. As I'm sure you may know, even if you don't have a dog, dogs, pets are everywhere now, and we have incorporated them into our daily lives. So it's not so much how it used to be when I was younger and you had a dog and the dog was, sometimes kept in the garage. No, our dogs now sleep with us, and I am guilty as charged, because I very much, my love for dogs kind of snuck up on me. So a little bit about me. Well, I'm sorry. In addition to our curated products that we get, I work kind of exclusively with people who have independent suppliers, diverse suppliers, not if they offer their products on Amazon. I try to use my platform to give others a platform to showcase their products. So while some of the products that I have are strictly Misty's Closet, I also try to elevate other suppliers to get their products out. So kind of think Nordstrom's. They have their own line, but then they also promote other brands. My short story that I'll try to condense is grew up with dogs all my life, only child. Parents got divorced when I was young, so pets were my best friends. And so they would, you know, let me do things with them and, you know, walk them around and dress them up even before dressing up was a thing. And so as I got older and, you know, fast forward 25 years in banking was where I came from before I got into this industry. And then I got my doctorate in education, and I have two girls and I have a husband. And as we constantly are going through these transitions, as all of us do, on what's next in our lives, what I noticed for me personally was that every time we made a decision, it had something, another entity was also included. At the time, it was my Labradoodle, Bella. So, for example, when I would drop my daughter off at school, I would take Bella to daycare. When we planned for family vacations, I would plan for Bella to go somewhere while we were on vacation if it wasn't a place that allowed dogs. Even when we bought our house, it was, well, what's the backyard for Bella? So then it sounds silly, but then it became like, oh, wait, like she's not just a dog, she's a part of our family. So as I was realizing that, then it kind of morphed into these ideas of, well, as a family member, and I treat her as a family member, then what are the products? So then I got her a sister, Misty. Misty's a Bichon. So if you can imagine, if you know anything about dogs, Bella's a Labradoodle. So she was full poodle, full lab, big dog, 70 pounds. Then I have a little white dog, and she was black dog. Then I had a little white dog, little Bichon. So they were like the odd couple for the longest. Unfortunately, a couple of months after I got Misty, Bella, you know, left us. And by this time now, we have left the suburbs and now we're in the city. And I'm looking around with Misty as we're walking now, and we're just doing walks more so than putting her in the backyard. And I'm noticing strollers and jackets and collars and leashes and how people are maneuvering to get around. And then the idea of Misty's Closet was born. So that's how, because oftentimes people ask me, like, how does a banker doctorate get to an online dog boutique? So that is my journey. And for those who love dogs or who love pets, you can understand how they can kind of creep into your
now and writing books and
Awesome.
so I'll stop there.
Thank you very much, Bill. Much appreciated. At this time, we're going to go ahead and bring our keynote up tonight. And in for a treat. It's the holidays. We're learning so much, and this is the perfect season. So she's a veteran, Air Force veteran, spent 30 years in the Air Force. I got a great deal of respect for this person. She's taught me a lot. She's a great person, and I'm making reference to Donna Ford. Good evening, ma'am. How are you? Welcome.
Thanks, Red. I'm doing well. I hope everybody out there is. We've got a great new bunch of folks tonight, so I welcome you to the bright side. You know, when Claire and Elton bring together a group. They find the best and the brightest out there. So I'm really pleased to see everybody. And I want to acknowledge we do have several military veterans in the room. We've got Reginald, myself. We've got Harold Caldwell was on. I think he's still on. And we also had Angela Clemens. She may have had to jump off, but she was on for a while. So thank you for your service, all the veterans, and God bless you. We definitely appreciate you here at the Bright Side. You know, Claire and Elton always have a very big Veterans Day event whenever Veterans Day rolls around. So you're appreciated and greatly loved. What I'm going to talk about tonight, and again, welcome. Yvonne McCoy's here. Yvonne is a coach I use. She's quite good at what she does. So if you need some coaching on your business and other things, she's an excellent person to talk to. So make sure you put your contact information in the chat, Yvonne, so they know how to get a hold of you. Let me ask you a question that is often on my mind because having been in the military where as Reginald and the other vets can attest to, one day is never the same as another. And you never really knew sometimes if you might make it through whatever situation you were in, especially on deployments and during, campaigns overseas in wartime. Reginald and a bunch of the others here in the room have all been in campaigns overseas and in wartime. I was in 2 wars, the original Desert Storm, Gulf War, and then also the Balkan Wars. Those took place because Yugoslavia fell apart and, a genocide ensued between the 2 different parties, main ethnic groups in the country. And NATO and the U.S. went in to stop the genocide and control the situation. So, and Bill, I don't remember if I said your name as one of the veterans, but Bill is another fellow Air Force veteran, and he's smarter than a lot of people I've ever met in my entire life. When he said he was a soldier and also a scientist, he's really he's not telling you everything about himself. He's a very, very smart, accomplished person. So, and Bill, be sure and put your books in the chat so we know how to get a hold of him because he's written some provocative and very good books about climate change and things like that, or climate in general.
Some slides afterwards after you're done.
Oh, great. Okay, good. I want to see them. Yeah. Tonight, I'm going to ask you to put in the chat, if you don't mind. Tell us, since we just came out of Thanksgiving and everybody had this opportunity to think about what they're thankful for and how blessed they are. Tell me what matters to you when you think of, if somebody asks you that question like we're doing tonight, when you think of all those things that you were grateful for with Thanksgiving, was it family? Was it friendships? Was it was it money and your job? Maybe your job is extremely important to you. Maybe you love what you do and you get excited every day you wake up and go to work. Is it perhaps your faith? Or something else that hasn't been mentioned here, but put in the chat what you think your top 2 or 3 really important things that matter to you most, that get you excited every day and fulfill your life. For some people, their health really matters to them. As you age, your health becomes considerably more important to you because it changes. So for some people, what matters most to them may be maintaining a good, healthy lifestyle and being able to live a long life. So I see some people are putting some, music. That's a good one. I hadn't thought about that. Lifelong learning. In fact, when we did a thing recently here at Bright Side, we talked about the 5 or 6 things that if you do them regularly will prolong your life. And some of the things that are here in the chat are those kinds of things, right? It's having something meaningful to do, whether it's work or volunteer. It's having good relationships, meaningful relationships with family, friends, other people you interact with on a regular basis. It's a healthy lifestyle, right? It's eating right and taking care of yourself. It's movement, right? Our bodies weren't meant to sit in chairs all day long and stare at screens like we're doing right now. They were meant to be active and moving. And there's other things, but those were the top ones that if you do those things routinely, studies have shown that you'll tend to live a longer life. Those relationships and a meaningful set of things to do every day, and also care of your body, taking care of your mind, moving regularly, getting some exercise. Those things prolong your life. So I'm glad to see that some people mentioned some of those things in the chat. So I'm going to talk about tonight. I don't know, do I have sharing am I allowed to share?
You should be able to, Don.
Okay, let me see if I can share something here. Give me a second. I think it closed out my file. So let me open it back up. But what we find when we're